goes horizontal. And we had all these different fish, but the title of it would be what? What do you think the title of it be? What were we trying to find out about those fish? Think about it. Pause the video, write the title for your line plot graph. All right? Well, it was measurement of fish. So measurement of fish. Measurements of fish. Now this is the part where it might be a little bit challenging, especially with a line plot graph. What do I actually put down there? What numbers do I put down there? Well, I'm not going to put the letter A or the different letters on the line plot. I'm not going to put A, B, C, D. It doesn't make sense because what we did was measure the different fish. So I want to make sure that on my, I want to make sure that on my graph, my x-axis, my line, shows the different data that I have. Because some of this data might be the same. Some of these fish might be the same measurement. So let me just start to put some different measurements on my line, and then I can represent with a X or some kind of symbol to say how many fish actually were that long. So we were going from halves and fourths, so let's just do it like that. Our largest fish, if we look at our table, was what? When you look at our data in this table over here, what was our largest fish? Our longest fish? Yep. It seems like our longest fish was 3 inches and 1/4. So that means that we shouldn't go any higher than 3 whole inches and 1/4. So how about I do halves and fourths, and I'll just start from 0. So 0, this is half. This would be, no, actually, what's smaller than a half? A fourth. So let me fix that. So this is a fourth. This would be a half. This would be 3/4. And it's not perfect. And this would be 1 whole inch. So I put 1 whole, just so we remember that. But as you see on this line, what I'm recording are the inches, which was from my table. That might be the challenging part, or the part that's a bit tricky, of what category or what to actually put on a line plot graph. So as I'm doing this, I want you to do this also at home. Make your line plot graph. So after 1 whole, we had 1.5. We had, oh no, we had 1 1/4. I apologize, because it's like a pattern. It's just gonna start repeating again. See, we had 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1 whole. So it's 1 1/4, 1.5. I switch colors. I switch colors every time I go to a new hole. We had 1 3/4 in our new hole. Like I said, I'm going to switch colors. Would be 2 whole inches. Then we had 2 and 1/4. Remember, you should be copying this down. 2 and a half. 2 and 3/4. Next, because it's like we're going by fourths, the next number I would jot down and plot would be 3, which would be 3 whole inches. After that, I have 3 and 1/4. Remember, that was the smallest, the largest that we had when we did our measurements. Now, let me get a small picture. I'm going to copy this table so then we can use it when we are plotting. Let me copy that. Perfect. Let me decrease it. Oh no. What is Mr. Bonhomme doing? Let me just move it over here. Get this to be a little bit smaller. Get this to be a little bit smaller. I got this. I got this. I can do it. Perfect. Getting better. Getting better. A little bit better. Let's move this up. All right. That should work. Nope. All right. That's fine. Now, using this table, I want you, oh, wait, but how do we even know what to put on the line plot graph? We don't have a key yet. We didn't make a key. So, need to make a key or a legend. Key. And let's just use X's because it's simple. And X, each X could represent what? What should each X represent? Remember the title of this line plot graph. What do you think each X should represent? Well, each X should represent one fish. That'll be easy to record all this data that we have from our table. We're not going to measure whatever letter they are. We're not going to record that. It doesn't matter. We're still talking about measurements of fish. That's what we're talking about with this line plot graph. So how many fish were 1/4 inches? None. So we'll keep that at 0. How many fish were 1/2 inch? How many fish were 3/4 inches? Look in our table. How many fish were 1 inch exactly, or about 1 inch? Look at our table. Remember, this is our table where we're getting our data from. You can pause the video and you can continue with this line plot graph and resume when you are done. By then, I'll go over what your line plot graph should look like. All right, so there are no fish that were 1 inch. Let's see how many fish were 1 1/4. None. Let's see how many fish were 1 1/2. There was one. That was 1 whole inch and a half. So I'm going to put 1x here. Let's look next. 1 whole inch and 3/4. I see another. There's 1. There's 2. So I'm going to put 2 x's there. 1, 2. And I'm checking off to make sure that I have every single fish that we recorded their lengths in inches. Let's see how many fish were 2 inches. Let me look at my table. My table over here. Nope. Let's see how many were 2 and 1/4. 2 inches and 1/4. Well, A, fish A. So we're gonna put an X over here. Let's see how many inches were how many fish were 2.5 inches. I see 1. I see 2. I see 3. So 1, 2, and 3 fish were 2.5 inches long. Now let's look at how many fish were 2 and 3/4 inches. I see one over here. That's an X. How many fish were 3 inches? I see 1 over here. Now, how many fish were 3 and 1/4 inches? I see 1. I see 2. So I'm going to put 2 X's. Let me go back into my table to see if I missed any fish. All right, L, K, J, I, H, G. I got F, E, D, C, B. Wow, 3.5. Now, I remember from this pattern, 1/4 is less than a half. So we have to include 3 whole inches and a half. How can we forget about that? So now we could record fish B, which only one was 3 and 1/4 inches. And this is how your line plot graph should look after plotting all of this data. This was a lot of work. Give your brain a break. Go do some exercising, jumping jacks, push-ups, or go build something. Good job. I hope that you were able to make a line plot graph. You can rewind and watch this again if you want. But you should give yourself a pat on the back. Good job. This is Mr. Bonhomme. We made a line plot graph with the data of those fish that we measured. I'll see you next time.